Take a full breath in. A softening breath out. Open up your eyes and make your way onto your back. The right leg will extend up to the ceiling. The hands will grab around the thigh. Circle your ankle in one direction and follow by circling it the opposite. Rest down through the upper ribs and let the spine be long on the mat. Climbing the tree, walking the hands up the leg. Coming high up on your sit bones. A nice Vinyasa. The left hand grabs for the outer edge of the right foot and the right arm extends back for an open arm twist. Get heavy through the left thigh, rooted down through your seat and tall through the spine. Take a full breath in and out. Nice, Barbara. Bring both hands back to the foot, unclimb your tree. Hug the right knee into the chest for wind removing pose. Supine twist, the right knee will fall to the left side, you'll bump up on the left hip. Draw the breath down to the sacrum, down to the pelvis. Begin to spread it wide as you inhale and expand with the breath. Reverse thread the needle. The right hand will come around towards the left shoulder. Press into the arm, extend the left arm behind you and lean some of the body's weight into the left palm. Now notice where your pelvis is in space. Are the hips stacked? Is the right hip sliding forward? How can you make micro movements to be most effective through the opening down through the lower body? Lounge lizard cobra, the left arm will tuck in, the right inner thigh and inner knee will draw towards the right shoulder. Cobra pose, press down through the palms of the hands, draw the elbows nice and narrow. The top of the left foot grounds down, the inner thigh of the right leg. Release down, 2 more rounds of breath. Inhaling, front of the ribs lift off the mat. Lay it right back down, nice Martina. Inhale, buoyancy in the chest, grounding through the lower body. Lower yourself back down. Curl the back toes underneath you for a 3-legged dog. Lengthen long through the right leg as you soften down through the left heel. Even out through the shoulders. Even out through the hips. Fallen star, right foot steps to the left hand. The outer edges of the feet press down. Awareness of your hips. Bring them up towards the sky. Press into the right arm. Lovely, Wendy. Take a breath in and a breath out. Slowly descend the hips down to the earth. Come to ground through both of your sit bones and point the toes up. Forward fold over your right leg. Become active through that left foot. The whole body begins to communicate, drawing and gathering all those pieces of ourselves back into union, back into wholeness. Walk the hands around to the left-hand side, keeping the chest down to the earth. Breath in, breath out. Chest stays to the thigh, the right leg comes around to meet the left for a forward fold. So how does this forward fold feel different from a separate leg stretch? Is the length even on both side bodies? Is the breath moving evenly into the lungs and into the belly and the low back? Release the hands, slowly roll the spine all the way down to the mat. Nice Nice, Barbara. Extend the left leg up to the ceiling. Lengthen out through the right leg and begin to roll through the ankle once in each direction. Climb your tree. Open arm twist to the left. The belly draws away from the thigh as the right hip anchors down, right thigh presses into the mat. Unwind and unclimb your tree. When removing pose, the left knee will hug into the chest. The front of the ribs settle down, and you have a slight bit of activity and engagement through the upper chest, back of the arms and shoulders as you hug the knee in for a deep compression. Supine twist, left knee comes up and over. Bump up onto that right hip and maybe lean the weight slightly forward. Reverse thread the needle, the left hand comes around, the right arm unthreads. Bring some load into the right palm, drawing the left knee up towards the left shoulder. Square the hips down to the earth, lounge lizard, draw the elbows in, left knee closer up to the left shoulder, find your anchor through the lower body, and then cobra posture. Lower down. The top of the right foot stays grounded, side bodies elongate, pelvis squares to the mat. There you go. Press up into cobra pose. Lower yourself back down. One more round with breath, with vigor. Start to ignite the inner body. Lower down. Back toes curl under, three-legged dog. Left leg reaches high. Square through the shoulders, through the ribs, and through the hips. Fallen star, left foot to right hand. Edges of the feet ground in. Inner thigh of that left leg reaches up to the ceiling and the ribs splay open. Take a full breath in. Softening breath out. Lower the hips down to the earth. Point the toes up to the sky, ground through the pelvis, forward fold over your left leg, single leg forward fold. Walk the hands around to the right leg, forward fold. How are your sit bones weighing down? Left leg meets the right for a forward fold. Creating space between each of the backbones with a deep inhale and a supportive exhale. Release the hands, lower the body all the way down to the mat. Begin to add on. Right leg extends up to the ceiling, hamstring stretch. Climb the tree. That strong exhale will help you find that rolling up and over. Open arm twist to the right. Nice, Kathy. Unclimb your tree. When removing pose, active through the left leg. Thread the needle. Sorry, not thread the needle. Supine twist. Right knee comes up and over. Cycle through a round of breath. Inhale. Exhale. Reverse thread the needle straight into lounge lizard cobra. That's a lifting up of the pelvis, grounding the front of the pelvis to the mat. Elbows hug in, stay high in your cobra, micro movements to refine and get more length through the right inner thigh, more grounding through the left leg. Lower yourself down, three-legged dog. Exhale brings you to fallen star. Lower the hips, forward fold over the right leg. Walk it around, forward fold over your left leg. Right leg comes to meet the left, forward fold. Roll the spine down, anchor through your heels, draw the tailbone towards the heels and roll yourself all the way down onto the mat. Create a V with the arms, send the legs up to the ceiling for legs up the wall. You're welcome to stay right here or plow pose. Toes come up and over, hips stack on top of the shoulders. Then use the strength through your arms to press into the earth to get a bit more height, some distance between the hips and the shoulders. Take a full breath in, complete breath out. If the plow isn't there, benefits still occur in your legs up the wall. Your transition is into downward facing dog. You'll cross at the ankles, roll over the legs, plant through the hands to a downward facing dog. Nice, Terry. Take a full breath in and out. Create that space. Walk the feet to meet your hands at the top of your mat, ragdoll. Interlace the hands at the crooks of the elbows and rock the torso and the weight from side to side. Give the weight of gravity, the head over, pulling the neck long, releasing tension from the upper shoulders. Take a breath in and a breath out. Fingertips ground to the earth. The right leg lifts up to hip height. Lower the right hip in line with the left. Make your way up to standing. Slow, controlled, muscular movement. Very nice. Right foot hovers above the earth. Step it back to a lunge. At least hip width distance with the feet, if not shoulder width distance. Extend the arms up, bring the elbows to shoulder height. Hug the shoulder blades towards your spine. Knit the front of the ribs together and lengthen the tailbone down to the earth. Low lunge, pinkies and forearms come to touch. High lunge. Low lunge. High lunge. Pause for a moment. So the lunge is straight down. We're not projecting ourselves forward. Bring some more weight to the right ball of the foot and bend deeper through the right leg instead of putting too much pressure into that left knee forward. Lower yourself down to a low lunge. Open back up. Wide-legged curtsy. The right leg steps nice and wide. Same idea. Lower and lift. A wider base will help with that balance. Lower and lift. One more round. Inhale. Exhale. Right knee to right elbow. Without using the hands, tree pose. Plant the sole of the foot to the inner leg line. Press the straight leg into the sole of the foot and grow your tree. Very nice. Your transition is pyramid pose. The right leg will step back to a narrow stance. Both toes will point forward. Bump the hips back, reach the spine forward into pyramid pose. Left foot forward. Soften down through the right rib as you hug the left hip back. Take a full breath in and out. Walk the hands around, diamond push-up. You'll walk the fingertips away from the toes as far as the arms will reach. Stay grounded through the heels. Bring the pointer finger and the thumb to touch and move into a diamond push-up. Hold here. All 5 fingers dialed in. Palm of the hand presses elbows wide. Let the tissues begin to activate. Slide the ribs towards the hips. Take a full breath in and out. Straighten through the arms. Walk the hands around to the right. Keep them wide of the mat, to the corner of the mat for a variation of extended side angle. Right toes will point forward. You'll reach your fingers away from the right toes as you lean the weight back into the outer edge of the right foot. Nice. Now what feels better for you? Tips of the fingers planting down through the soles of the hands. How can you get more leverage, more length along and underneath the armpits, down into the upper ribs, lower ribs, and all the way into the hips? Then walk the hands back to 1 diamond push-ups, keeping them wide of the mat. Lower and lift. Hands move over to the left, extended side leg angle through the legs. The fingertips reach away. The weight falls into the outer edge of the left foot. The femur bone moves wide to the side of the pelvis. Breath in. Breath out. Hands back to a diamond push-up. Hold your diamond push-up. Weight down more through the right side, then through the left. Right palm, left palm. Subtle shifts. Big change. Big change in the activation of the tissues underneath the armpits and in the arms. Balance yourself out. Anchor through your feet. Dig in through the heels and draw the heels away to the sides of the room. Energetically walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. Toe heel the feet, hip width distance, or toes come to touch. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Rise up to chair pose. Drop the weight into the heels. Right hand comes to the outer edge of the left thigh. Left arm reaches up to the ceiling. Now bring some length to the intercostal muscles right between each one of the ribs. Some toning through the lower body. Check in with your knees. Switching out the arms. Left hand comes to the outside of the right hand. Right arm extends up. Revolving those shoulders, ribs, collarbones to the right. Release, chair pose. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Lower the hips down to the heels. Boat pose to the front of the room. You'll bring your hips down. Arms and legs will lift off the ceiling for boat. Very nice, Vanessa. If this is too much, bend your knees and bring the knees towards the chest. Offering yourself some space. Upper and lower body lower at the same time. Come all the way down onto your mat. Extend the left leg up to the ceiling. Climb your tree. Open arm twist to the left. Come back to center, climbing down the tree. Wind removing pose, left knee hugs into the chest. Supine twist. Unthread the needle. Bring the hips down to the earth. Cobra pose. Cobra arms, lounge lizard legs. Take a breath in, spread the back of the ribs wide, anchor down through the pubic bone. Lower down, curl back toes underneath you, three-legged dog. Elbows stay narrow as you press the weight of the body up. Fallen star, left foot to the outside of the right hand. Lower the hips down to the earth. Straighten through the legs, forward fold. Bring the torso around to the right, the left leg will follow. Left leg meets the right, forward fold. Lower yourself all the way down onto the mat. So each one of these roll downs is an opportunity to connect to that center place of power, your deep core. Left leg lifts up, right leg lifts up for legs up the wall. If plow is there, plow posture, arms move into the V, palms plant down, press the earth away. Lift the hips higher to the sky and bring the chin away from the chest. Take a full breath in and out. Lower the back of your head down. Yep, back, so back of the head, legs. You could just stay right there. Breath in, breath out. Crossing at the ankles, roll over the legs, come to a tabletop and then into a downward facing dog. So how are you connecting? How are you bringing wholeness into your experience? Suppressing the distraction, dropping into presence. Walk the feet to meet your hands, forward fold. Interlace the elbows, rock the weight from side to side. Roll the weight forward onto the balls of the feet, spread it to the outer edges. Release the fingertips down to the earth. Extend the left leg up to the hip height. Point the left toes down. Come to standing, left sole of the foot hovers right above the mat. Lovely, Martina. Step it back to a lunge. Bring the elbows up to shoulder height. Come to the ball of the left foot. Low lunge, high lunge with the arms. Low lunge, high lunge. Much better on this side, not dropping that weight into the forward knee, but using the back kickstand of the left foot to help you balance the body's weight. Wide-legged curtsy, left leg steps nice and wide. Shoulders over hips, 3 breaths. Low curtsy. High curtsy. Lower. And lift. One more round. Left knee to left elbow. Tree pose. Outer hip draws the sole of the foot to the inner leg line. Then it's an equal press from foot to inner leg line, drawing you into the center. Nice focus. Step it back. Pyramid pose. Both toes will point forward about hip width distance. 3 deep breaths. Legs are straight. Right hip hugs back. Left femur head draws forward. Walk the hands around to the left for a diamond push-up. Hold the elbows wide, isometric diamond push-up. Now lift the heels. Lower the heels. Nothing's going to change in the upper body. You're isometrically holding the elbows wide, crown of the head to the earth. Lift the heels, lower the heels. Very nice. One more round, front ribs soften in. Lower the heels down to the earth. Walk the hands around to the left for extended side angle. Extended side angle, right arm up to the sky. The left hand comes to the inside of the left leg. Lean the torso back, hug the hip under. Reverse warrior. Half moon. The hip joints are stacking on top of one another, which will square the hips and the ribs towards the windows in front. Warrior two. Reverse warrior. Calm yourself with the breath. That's that security, that stability. Extended side angle. Walking the hands around to the right hand side for one diamond push-up. Bend the elbows, straighten the arms, side bodies long. Walk the hands around to the right for extended side angle. Right toes point forward, left heel anchors in. Lean the torso back, press the hips forward. Reverse warrior. Half moon. Feed that energy down through the stabilizing leg, out through the long, extended right leg. Warrior two. Reverse warrior. Extended side. Walk the hands around to the left. One diamond push-up, lower. This takes the place of our chaturangas and lift. Walk the hands back underneath the shoulders, toe heel the feet to touch. Halfway lift, long spine. Bring the shoulders in line with the hips. Forward fold. Rise up to chair. Open arm twist to the right. Nothing changes below the belly button. Very nice. Chair pose. Open arm twist to the left. Check in with those knees. Bring them back into one line. Chair. Forward fold. Hips to heels. Boat pose to the front of the room. Slowly upper lower body all the way down. Use that exhale. Left leg long, right leg extends up to the sky. Hamstring stretch. Walk the hands up the legs, climb the tree. Hold here. Bring the chest closer to the thigh. Press the sit bone to the front of the room. Point your toe. Flex your foot. Point and flex. Maybe pair it with the breath. So every time you point, you inhale. Every time you flex, you exhale. Then point your toe, climb back down the tree. Hug the knee into the chest, supine twist, up and over to the left. Reverse thread the needle into lounge lizard cobra. We'll hold for a cycle of breath in lounge lizard cobra. Now, how can you get the most out of the lower body? The inner thigh stretch through the right leg and the lengthening of the psoas on the left side. Lower the upper body down, three-legged dog, elbows stay narrow, back toes curl under. Fallen star, right foot to left hand. Hold in your fallen star. Option to lift up through the right inner thigh and bring the bottom leg off the mat. So the right inner thigh is going to lift, the right foot's going to unweight. You got it, Sharon. Lovely. For 3, nice and Nina, 2, and 1. Right leg lowers down, lower the hips with control. You've got that control. Point the toes up, forward fold. Take a moment to check back in. What did you create space for? Walk the hands around to the left-hand side. Forward fold over the left leg. Right leg comes to meet the left. Lower all the way down onto your mat. Roll the spine away from the heels. Legs up the wall. Pausing right here. If you're straining in your neck, holding the legs up the wall, stay here. You'll get more benefit from allowing the body to lengthen and open in a supportive position than straining the body trying to achieve a position that it's not quite ready for. Plow pose, extend the legs up and over. The right leg will lift up to the ceiling. The left toes will stay rooted or extended back to the teal wall. You'll bend and straighten through the knee. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten through the right leg. So just hold your legs up, Terry. Keep your, oh, okay, you're going up and over. He's doing it. One more round. We'll all meet and plow. Transition into downward facing dog, crossing at the ankles, rolling over the ankles. It's the hugging in of the core, planting down of the hands, stepping back of the feet. Walk the feet to meet the hands, forward fold. The right leg lifts up to hip height. Come to standing, right foot hovers. Lovely balance, Erin. Step it back to lunge. Come to the ball of the right foot. V out, cactus out the arms. One low lunge, lower. And lift. Take it to curtsy lunge, keeping the hips square, the arms wide, lower. And lift, elbow to knee, right elbow. Dancer pose, right hand reaches around for the inner arch of the right foot. Draw the knees to touch, take a moment to find a focal point, kick the foot into the hand. Making space for that potential, something for you to work on and work towards. Your transition is standing pigeon pose. Release the foot, bring the right leg forward, outer hip rotates, hand to knee and foot. Draw the shin closer to the chest till you feel the targeted area of the outer right activate. 3 breaths. Release the leg, pigeon pose, pyramid pose. Step the right foot back to pyramid. Long spine, pyramid. Walk the hands around to the right hand side, 1 diamond push-up. Press it up, walk the hands around to the right, lunge, both toes will be pointing towards the teal wall. Rise up to crescent. Bring your hands to heart center, revolved crescent lunge, left elbow outside of right thigh. Now just as much pressure from the outer arm into the outer leg. Left hamstring up to the ceiling. Keeping the rotation, lowering the left knee down to the earth. Open the trunk of the body, open arm twist. Option to stay right here or take it to a quadricep stretch where the right hand will come to the left thigh or the left foot. You'll draw the left heel in towards the sit bone, reach around, heavy through the pelvis, deep opening through the top of the thigh. You got it, Martina. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Release. Come to a crescent low lunge. Curl back toes underneath you. Walk the hands around to the left. One diamond push-up. Walking the hands around to the left. Crescent, both toes point forward. Rise up. Hands to heart, revolve, crescent lunge. Maintaining the rotation, lower the right knee down. Open arm twist. You're welcome to stay right here or quadricep stretch. Left arm reaches for the right foot or the hamstring. 3 deep breaths, hugging into that midline, finding that security, that stability with the support of your breath. Release. Low lunge, back toes curl under. Walk the hands around to a wide-legged forward fold. Toe heel the feet into touch underneath the hips. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Lower the hips down to the heels. First option, on the toes, prayer twist. Second option, crow pose, side crow, chaturanga arms, elbows connect to the outer thigh, weight shifts forward, your extension. Whichever shape you choose, commit to it. And when you're ready, you'll come into boat pose to the front of the room. Hold your boat, then lower all the way down. Arms and legs. Extend away from the anchor of your pelvis. Left leg extends high. Climb your tree. Nice barb. Point and flex the foot. Lift the chest a little higher. Roll the weight forward on the front of your seat. And then walk it right back down. Wind removing pose. Left knee into the chest. Supine twist. Unthread the needle. Lounge lizard cobra. Cycle through a round of breath. Lower the chest down to the mat, three-legged dog. Fallen star. Left foot to right hand. Left leg lifts off the mat. Lift with the inner thigh. Lower the left leg down to the mat. Lower the hips, slow and controlled. You're still building that muscular strength. Forward fold over the left leg. Walk the torso around to the right. Bring the left leg to meet it. Forward fold. Then slowly roll yourself all the way down onto the mat. So lots of core from shoulders to knees engaged the whole entire time. Legs up the wall, up and over to plow. Create that wide base with the arms. Let the arms help you. Left leg extends up to the ceiling, bend and straighten through the leg. You don't want to be hanging in your upper back. You want to feel like you're lifting up through your hips from that support of your core. Plow pose. Downward facing dog. Cross at the ankles, roll through tabletop. Down dog. Nice, Vinyasa. Feet meet your hands, top of your space. Left leg lifts to hip height. Come to standing, left leg hovers. Settle your gaze, step it back to lunge. Open the arms, spread the chest. One low lunge. Wide-legged curtsy lunge. Nice, Kathy. Lower. Knee to elbow, left knee to left elbow. Dancer pose. Lower left hip down. Standing pigeon. Draw that knee forward, release the hands. Grab for the ankle, outer foot. Keep the chest broad and open. Pyramid pose. One diamond push-up. Warrior one to the back of the room. Left toes point forward, right heel anchors down. Warrior one. Open the hips back up, bring the hands to chest expansion behind you. Deep breath in and out. Countering all those forward folds. Humble warrior. Release the hands. Walk the hands all the way around to a warrior one, front of the room. Right toes point forward. Left leg anchors back. Get your hips square first and then lift the torso. Interlace the hands at the low back, chest expansion. Humble warrior. Release the hands to a wide-legged forward fold. Toe heel your feet to touch. Lower the hips down to the earth. Toes pose, prayer twist, or side crow. Hug the elbows towards one another, shoulder width distance. They're going to want to splay out. You need that drawing in of the elbows, the shelf of the arms to shift the weight into. 3 to 5 breaths. And when you're done, boat pose. Very nice attempts, very nice effort, everyone. Hold your boat, find your composure, that space. What did you invite in? Lower yourself all the way down to the earth. Bring the knees nice and wide, grab for the outer shins and rock the hips from side to side. When the mind is focused, when you're concentrated, we remove those external distractions, that clutter, that chatter. You've created some space and clearing. And it's your choice what you invite into that space. Make it a conscious choice of what you bring into your inner world. When you're ready, final Shavasana. Gentle movements back into the body. And come into a fetal position on either side of your space. Maybe taking a moment throughout your day to pause, to become still, silent, and observant. Noting the clutter, the chatter in between the ears. And interrupting it by establishing presence in the body, an anchor through the breath. Creating that space. Make your way up to your seat, closing down the eyes. Bringing your hands to heart. Exhale out the breath. Inhale. Exhale. Breath in. Breath out. With light, love, gratitude, and grace. Namaste. Yes. Well done. It gets easier, doesn't it?
Yeah. Sure.